The things I'm about to show you in this video are what a vast majority of contractors get wrong, especially in the beginning, but even in the middle. You know, this is the kind of stuff that you need to know. You need to get right as your foundation so you can actually grow a successful construction business. If you can actually do these things that I'm about to share with you, then you're gonna fast track your success. Things are gonna be a lot more streamlined. You're gonna be way ahead of the curve, way ahead of the game as far as getting to your goals much faster. And a big part of this is just being aware of these pitfalls, right? But let's talk about how you can solve them too. I made so many mistakes as a general contractor when I was starting out, a long time ago, but I want to talk about how to solve these things. Let's make your construction business a massive success starting right now. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Jesse Lane. I built an 8-figure construction business before turning 30 years old, and I'm now helping other general contractors all across the world scale and automate their construction businesses so they can have more freedom in their life and have a whole lot less stress. So if you're interested in learning more about my coaching program that'll help you automate your construction business, just check out jesselane.com. And my team and I would love to help you. So the mistake number one that I see is being blind to your own value. Just because you haven't been doing this as long as the big dogs doesn't mean you're less valuable. And some of the other guys that have been in the business for decades longer than you, they might have a little bit more references and past projects to lean on and be like, look, we've done all this cool stuff. But you know in your core that you're gonna provide amazing communication, great quality projects, right? If you can do these things, there's nothing that makes you less valuable than these people. You have to get that in front of your future clients and have them understand the fact and get to know you at the core and let them know that you're valuable. You want to fully embrace the fact that you're going to give your clients the ultimate best experience, way more than some of these big corporate contractors. You're going to give them that personal touch. And so once you internalize the fact that you are here to solve your clients' problems and you know what these problems are and you can actually solve them, no more competing on price, my friend. No more Chuck in a truck, you versus Chuck in a truck, competing on the lowest bid. They're going to be coming after you because you are the most valuable guy out there. You know how to do construction. That is the value that you bring to your client. They don't know how to do a kitchen remodel or a room addition or build out their commercial space, whatever you're doing. They don't know. That's why they're hiring you. You know how to do that. You are extremely valuable to them. And so you should be paid for what you're worth. Hey, give this video a like if you agree. Little thumbs up button down there. And here is a major point that most contractors don't understand regarding the value is their own time within their company. They feel like they need to be running around doing every little thing, but they're not valuing their time. They're doing the smallest little thing, or worst case, they're putting on the tool bag and they're installing the trim themselves. They're framing the thing, they're installing the drywall. As a business owner, you cannot be on the tools. You can't have a successful business and be on the tools, or be on the tools of being the estimator, or be on the tools of being the bookkeeper, or be on the tools, quote unquote, of doing all the admin work, or even all the project management. You should be marketing and selling, and eventually you'll get a sales guy, and then you should just be marketing, and then eventually you'll hire a marketing team, and then eventually you'll hire a COO and a CEO, and eventually you'll just be the founder like I am today, which is an amazing feeling. But you need to start with getting off the tools, and then getting off the admin work, and then hiring a superintendent, and then getting off the project management and estimating. There's a process that you need to go through in order, which is what we teach in Automation Blueprint coaching program at jesselane.com. But know your own value and treat yourself with respect with your time. So your time should be spent, instead of on all this random paperwork and running around to all your job sites, it should be spent on marketing, networking with potential clients, growing your brand, right? Building a better website. Those are the things that you should be focused on. Of course, building systems for your team and managing as being a great leader. And you know what? You're scared to hire because you're scared about where the next project is going to come from, right? You're like, well, what if I hire? That's a big expense. I can't afford that right now. But that's the whole point. You have to take a leap of faith. Entrepreneurship is a leap of faith. You have to take the leap to hire, so then you aren't doing all the work that you just hired out, the admin, the superintendent, the project manager, the estimator. If you're sitting in a cave in your office estimating, then how could you ever be out there doing marketing, and sales. That's how you're going to grow your company, right? That's the key right there. If you can hire, not be afraid, and go out, network, market, sell. If you get sales, you're going to have a larger company. You're going to make more sales. You're going to have more revenue, which means you can hire even more people. And the cycle repeats, and you don't want to hire endlessly. I mean, unless you want to scale to $1 billion, but eventually it's going to get to a point where you have the staff you need. The leads are flowing. It's a beautiful thing, my friend. Okay, mistake number 2 is ignoring overhead. Let's say you make $20,000 on this $100,000 project, right? After all your sub costs, your dumpsters, all the labor, everything like that, 20 grand. You're like, okay, this is pretty good, right? Like, man, I just made $20,000. Well, think again. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see new contractors make is they think, okay, great, I made $20,000. But what about all the costs called overhead that you have every single month, even if you don't have projects? So any cost that is not assigned to a project, like insurance, taxes, vehicles, gas, your subscription to Structure software, right? Even though it's very minimal, it's still an overhead cost, which reduces your net profit of your business, which means it's a write-off. So go ahead and get Structure at structure.com because it's going to radically transform your whole construction business. But understanding your overhead costs is extremely crucial because you didn't actually make $20,000. $20,000 is your gross profit. It's not your net, because you have your total sales minus your cost of goods sold is your gross profit. Cost of goods sold is dumpsters and everything related to a job, labor, materials, subcontractors, but that's just your gross profit. Then you have to subtract your overhead, and your overhead is all your soft costs that don't relate to a project. And then that, my friend, is your true net profit. So you might be negative if you're only making $20,000 gross profit, right? Because my overhead is 6 figures or more every single month. I need to be making lots of gross profit to even cover that and break even, right? And you should know your overhead nut per year. If your overhead nut is 500,000 or $1 million or $2 million or whatever, then you need to know I need to make that much gross profit by the 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th month of the year or whatever. And then every month after that is going to be pure gravy. Mistake number 3 out of 4 on this video is not going crazy with marketing, because you get a few first projects and you're doing good, then you just start focusing on those projects, which is great, but you need to have people under you to do that so you can focus on the next project. You need to be getting the next project. Always, you need to be focused on marketing and sales. So if you don't go crazy with marketing, then you'll never have sales. Your ability to attract clients all year round without going through dry spells. There's going to be dry spells, right? But your ability to attract clients with your marketing is the number one thing that's going to keep you in business, nothing else. So if you're just relying on word of mouth and referrals, this is great, but it needs to be the butter, the gravy, the drizz on top of all your other marketing, right? You got to have all the other marketing channels, which I talk about in a lot of other videos, and I have a whole online course at jesselane.com if you want to dive even really deep into marketing. But you need to be focusing on that. Even if you're getting a lot of lead flow, there's a lot of projects right now, don't let off the gas on marketing, because if you even push on the gas even more or can keep it consistent with the marketing spend, the effort you're putting in towards marketing, then you can start picking and choosing from the clients that you actually want to take. Because you don't need to go like, oh man, we only have these 5 leads. I need to estimate all of them. What if you had 15 or 30 leads for big, nice, juicy construction projects? Then you could be like, sorry, we're booked out 6 months. Do you want to wait? Or maybe that person's not as qualified as this $1 million or $2 million project that you can spend all your time on. Not all your time, because you want to spread it around a little bit. Don't just focus on one project, but you're going to have more leads to choose from if you don't let off the gas of your marketing efforts. And the last mistake number 4, at least for this video, is being unprepared for success. Like, what if your business actually starts to take off? You do what I'm saying, you do all this marketing and you're hiring people, but if you're unprepared, if you don't have the standard operating procedures in place, if you don't have the right technology in place, right? Like if you haven't gone through Automation Blueprint, my coaching program, and if you haven't gotten your Structure account set up, there's other options, of course, in the world. But if you haven't gotten some of these core fundamental pieces and even your own mentality lined up ahead of time, you're going to fall flat on your face. Because you're going to start running around like crazy, like a chicken with your head cut off, and run over here, checking all these jobs. It's going to turn into chaos if you aren't prepared for this success, because growth can often be one of the biggest killers in a construction business. If you aren't prepared to manage large sums of money, if you don't have your bookkeeping and accounting set up properly, you're going to fall flat on your face. You need to have a lot of these things set up ahead of time. You need to understand how to manage cash flow, right? You need to understand how to manage people. You need to understand how to not underestimate projects. You need to understand how to project manage projects so they actually come in on time, so you actually have a great reputation in the marketplace, right? There's so many things that go into streamlining a construction business that you really need to start understanding. Not all of it at first before you even start, but in the first few years, if you go from 500,000 to 5 million or 50 million, that, my friend, if you go too fast, is going to really hurt unless you have the proper foundation, which is what I help. This is my whole reason of being here for you on jesselane.com. You could apply for the coaching program. This is exactly the stuff that we go through in Automation Blueprint. We give you the blueprint to automate your construction company. Then we actually help you do it. You want to get out of the day-to-day and you want to look at your business from a macro perspective and see what's happening now, and you want to see where you're going, and then cast that vision to your team, make sure they understand what the heck's even going on with the business, right? And where we're going and how we're going to get there and exactly how to do their role. There's so many things that you need to be focused on, not just running around making sure the drywall's installed properly. So a lot of the guys that come into the program, it's chaos, right? And we untangle the knot that they've created for themselves of all the things that are happening and all the bad employees and all the zero processes that they have and just running around like an absolute loon. We untangle all of that and we lay everything out, and we have every process completely built for every role within their company within a matter of a couple months. So that, my friend, is the way. It's the only way to scale without losing your mind. You need to scale a construction company built on the back of the right foundation. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a little thumbs up button down there. Leave a comment if you want. Check out jesselane.com, and then we'll see you in the next video as well. So have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Peace.